All right, everyone, grab a seat. Coffee's in the back. I'm Dr. Damian Wolf, and this is your crash course on SCP-507. Now, I want you to look at his file. See that big friendly word, safe? If you walk out of this room today still believing that means harmless, I have failed. So let's get started.
Officially, he's SCP-507. Safe class. Simple enough. But to the staff who know him, he's just Tommy. Sometimes Houdini. And yes, for one very strange week, he insisted on being called Grabknock the Destroyer. That disconnect right there, between the mild-mannered guy and the world-ending title, that's exactly why we're all here.
So here's the game plan. We're going to cover who he is, take a peek into his frankly terrifying travel diary, and then go over the one rule you can never, ever break. After that, we get to the fun science part, our new theory on what's actually happening. We'll touch on your survival gear, and then the final assessment. And trust me on this, you're gonna want to pay attention.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the man himself.
If you passed him in the hall, you wouldn't look twice. He's the definition of unremarkable. And that, right there, is what makes this so deeply unsettling. He's a walking, talking, cosmological event that looks like he could be your uncle.
So, what's his gimmick? Well, he randomly vanishes. Poof. He gets yanked into another universe with zero control over when, where, or for how long. And the craziest part? He's a really good-natured guy about it. He even has a morbid fascination with our other residents. He's actually put in requests to visit Fernand the Cannibal and once asked to challenge Abel to a game of tic-tac-toe. We, denied those, for everyone's safety.
And now for the part of the briefing that'll keep you up at night. Where does he go? The files call them displacements. I call them field trips to the worst places imaginable.
This happened early on. He shifted into a place of pure, perfect blackness. Couldn't see a thing. And then he heard it. A quiet, rhythmic breathing right next to him. He did the only sensible thing. He found a corner, curled into a ball, and waited. The moment he returned, he asked for a flashlight. He hasn't let it out of his sight since.
Another time, he landed in a perfect replica of this facility, only it was dark and derelict, and filled with what he thought were bodies covered in mold. Then he noticed the mold was moving. The bodies were slowly, rhythmically expanding and contracting, breathing. He bolted for the exit, got outside, and found the entire world, the trees, the ground, everything was coated in the same living, breathing fungus. We're pretty sure it was a cordyceps-style planetary infection.
You know, sometimes the shortest reports are the most chilling. He came back from one trip, pale as a sheet, just muttering, "So many spiders." That's it. That's all we ever got. He will not say another word about it. Whatever he saw was enough for him to ask for a gun. We gave him one that shoots rubber bullets.
Which brings us to the smiling man. He found himself back in that pitch-black dimension. This time, though, he had his flashlight. He switched it on, and inches from his face was a man in a business suit with a grin that was way, way too wide. And the thing looked at him and said, "Back so soon?" Tommy's response was to empty his pistol and pray he shifted out of there fast. So, those are the things that can happen to him. Now, let's talk about what he can do to you. Pay attention. This part is not a drill. 14 days, 2 weeks. Burn this number into your memory. It's the only safe window we have. We've tracked his shifts for years. They've never happened less than 2 weeks apart. That is your grace period. This is the golden rule. If it has been more than 14 days since he last came back, you do not touch him. You don't shake his hand, you don't clap him on the shoulder, you don't even brush past him in a narrow corridor. After that 2-week mark, he becomes a walking, talking, one-way ticket to hell.
The reason for this rule has a name, Agent Blank. He got complacent, put a hand on Tommy's arm on day 15, Tommy vanished, and the agent went with him. Tommy eventually came back, the agent did not. Whatever they saw there was so bad, Tommy still won't talk about it. So understand, this protocol isn't a suggestion, it's a memorial.
For the longest time, we just assumed he was some kind of teleporter. We were wrong. The truth, we think, is much more disturbing. This new theory changes everything. We're starting to realize that reality isn't some solid, immutable object. It's more like a fabric, a weave. And under enough stress, that fabric can get worn thin. It can develop microscopic tears, localized failures. We call them metaphysical fractures.
I actually asked Tommy what it feels like when he shifts. His description was perfect. He said it's not like moving. It's like walking on a frozen lake, and for just a split second, the ice beneath your feet just ceases to exist. You fall. He's not breaking through a wall, he's falling through a crack in the floor.
And that led me to a new conclusion. He isn't traveling at all. He's falling. Think of him as being dense, metaphysically heavy. So when he happens to stand on a part of our reality that's worn thin, one of those fractures, it just can't support his weight anymore. The floor gives out and he slips through to whatever's underneath. He doesn't cause the shift. Our failing reality does.
So what does that mean for you? Well, in the unlikely and deeply unfortunate event you get pulled along with him, you'll need to know what to do.
Your standard issue kit is simple. It's about survival, not winning. You get a high-powered flashlight because you never know if where you're going will even have light. You get a handgun that only fires rubber bullets. Your goal is not to kill an interdimensional horror. It's to stun it, to startle it, to create enough distance to run. But the most important piece of equipment you have isn't in a bag. It's in your head. It's following the 2-week rule.
And that brings us to the end. I need you all to understand this is so much bigger than just one man. The implications of this new theory are staggering.
You need to change how you think about him. SCP-507 is not an anomaly that does something. He's a symptom. He is the canary in a cosmological coal mine, and he is telling us that the air is getting very, very thin. The best analogy I can give you is this. He is a living Geiger counter. But it doesn't measure radiation. It measures the decay of reality itself. Every single time he unwillingly falls through the floor of our universe, that's a click. It's another data point telling us that the very foundation we are all standing on is getting more and more brittle.
So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. The question we should be asking isn't where is Tommy going to go next? The real question, the one that should concern you, this facility and the entire foundation, is this. What does it mean for us when a Geiger counter for reality starts clicking faster? Dismissed.